Hello again. Rob Hanley, editor-in-chief of Recovery Today magazine. And we wouldn't have a complete feature at all unless we actually featured this guy who connected us in the first place with Costa Rica Recovery. For those of you that follow Recovery Today, particularly birthday shout-outs, you're going to know him. He's a veteran of the United States Army who, like too many others, after finishing his time in uniform, he was lost, confused, and really trying to cope with his PTSD, depression, obviously substance abuse, and other bad things, I guess I would probably say. But today, through a lot of work, he is sober, happy. He's authored a book. It's called The Addiction Manifesto. He's a senior mentor, or he was a senior mentor of veterans treatment at the Veterans Association. He's part of Recovery Today. He's the founder of Recovery Today, Recovery Revolution. And now, as you can see, he is actually the Veterans Counselor, Relapse Prevention, and Mindfulness Coach at Costa Rica Recovery. My friend and the guy who connected us here, J.R. Weaver. Dude, thanks for jumping on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Rob. I really enjoyed, working with you, working for you, doing what I do, man.
Yeah, man, and I
Honored.
would have never known about this. Every person that we have talked to about Costa Rica Recovery, specifically from the veterans angle, every single one of them have said, I've never heard of anything like that, and I would have never known about them. I really feel like, myself personally, and for everything at Recovery Today, I really feel like we've made new friends with John and Carrie and Laura and Justin and everybody there. And I'm really looking forward to coming down and seeing your place and spending some time with you. But, big thank you for the connection, because we want to spread this message far and wide.
I'm excited to get you down here, man.
So,
I mean, you're
dude,
gonna love
yeah.
it.
So for those that maybe didn't see our original feature of you about a year ago, and that was kind of how we just connected really strongly, and then that kind of led into an ongoing piece in the magazine, which will be in this one too. It's the sober birthday shout outs. You Everybody likes to see that. And on that note, by the way, happy 5 years. Is that right? 5 years today.
11, 10, 17.
11, 10,
The
17.
day my life changed.
So, wow, man. So big happy birthday to you, dude. That is legit. 5 years is a good long time, man. That
I'm
is
a all
awesome.
do timer.
Well, tell everybody your story a little bit, and we'll kind of make this a little bit shorter, because this is going to be as part of the overall feature, and we already had John and Carrie and Justin on. So, tell us a little bit about your, how did you end up a military veteran here? How did you end up living in Costa Rica and doing what you're doing now?
Okay, I'll give a brief synopsis of my story, a brief recount. I am an Army vet. My name is J.R. Weaver. I'm an Army veteran in long-term recovery. My sobriety date is 11/10/17, and today is my 5th year being sober, and it's been amazing. I was one of those guys that when I was getting out of the military, getting out of the Army back in 1990, the day I hung up my uniform was the day I lost, my identity, my purpose, and I struggled. I mean, I tried to go to school. I thought I could use my military experience, roll it right into college, and I had it all planned out, 4-year degree, international business, wife, 2.5 kids, but none of that happened. I was the guy that struggled in college. I was the guy that was, found I don't know, normalcy in the bottom of a beer bottle. So that's what I did. I turned to alcohol, and I was drinking, every night. Then I started drinking before class, during breaks in class. And long story short, I burned through 7 years of college and my entire, GI Bill with pretty much nothing to my name. I had like 60, 70 credit hours for 7 years. I have enough school to be a doctor, but I had 60 hours because I couldn't sit still in the class, you know. So, I left class, I moved to New York, struggled, with the alcohol, then the hard drugs came in, and my life just spiraled out of control. And it brought me. I ended up getting kicked out of my place, losing my job up there, which was a great job, you know. And I moved back to South Carolina, and shit really went crazy. I ended up doing my first prison bid within a year of returning back here. And, you know, I spent about 20 years bouncing in and out of jails. You know, my addiction got worse, my life got worse. At the end, I was homeless and hopeless. And that was, it's pretty much at the end when I caught some fresh felony charges that I finally reached out to the VA for help because that was my rock bottom. And, you know, I ended up going through VA treatment in Charleston, South Carolina, you know, and I had pleaded into Charleston County Adult Drug Court. And those two programs really helped me. You know, it gave me the accountability and the structure to embrace recovery. And that's what I did. And it's funny, my last arrest was actually at the VA hospital in Charleston. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I had warrants out, and the police came and picked me up at the hospital. They shackled me, you know, hands and feet, walked me through the lobby. And it's one of the lowest moments of my life because that's where I got treatment at. And you know, I had a little bit of sobriety then, and it's like, you know, I'm questioning God. I'm like, why is this happening now? You know, why? And I'm trying to get my life back on track. But the ugly truth was I was pretty much, you know, white knuckling my sobriety back then. So you know, but you know, fortunately, I was in drug court, and they rolled these new charges in, and that's when I fully embraced my recovery, and that's when my life started to change. You know, it's through so I ended up you know, completing a drug court, no sanctions, breezed through it because once I committed to my sobriety, my life just took off and everything became easier for me. You know, it's like I had that 500-pound weight lifted off my back, and you know, my recovery really saved my life. So, long story short, I ended up getting hired at the same hospital where I was arrested. You know, that was all God, you know, moving mountains out of my way because, you know, I am a ex-felon. And it was through veterans programs like, you know, I was senior mentor for Charleston Veterans Treatment Court. And through that program, I did some other veteran programs, which was a veterans retreat every year. So through the veterans retreat, I met another veteran who I didn't know was in recovery. He had messaged me out of the blue one day, and he's like, "They're looking for a veterans counselor down in Costa Rica." Asked me if I'd be interested. So I was like, "Costa Rica, you know, counseling veterans, something I love to do, you know." So I'm like, I called the number, I talked to Justin, and we hit it off. And he's like, "Dude, we got to get you down here." And I'm like, "I don't know. I've got a nice life, you know, got a VA job." So he's like, "Yeah, okay, just come." We kept talking like over the next 2 weeks, and he's finally talked me into coming down. And they flew me down, put me up in a hotel, and I got to look at their program, and I fell in love with it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
everything I think all recovery programs should be. You know, it's a combination. You know, 12 steps, holistic. You know, they have sound therapy, yoga, you know, mindfulness. You know, everything that someone needs in early recovery to build a foundation, a stronger foundation. You know, to get through that first year of sobriety. So I was like, you know, before I left, they were like, "You want the job?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I ended up going back to Charleston, you know, putting my 2 weeks in, and I've been down here since October 2nd, and I love it. I mean, I've been able to counsel a few vets. I teach the relapse prevention class and the mindfulness class, and it's been amazing. I mean, the people, just the culture of Costa Rica, you know, the pure
Right.
vida, the pure life, man. I
Right.
know you know all about it too.
Yeah.
So, so it's been great, man, and I love it down here. I'll probably be down here for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's kind of what we had thought too. The land, the whole place is just, the whole country is just crazy beautiful. I've driven well from San Jose south. I've never gone to where your other location is. up in Nosara before. I haven't been. The furthest north I've ever been is actually San Jose. And but I know driving to the south, it just blows me away driving down like the highway, I guess I will call it. It's not like a freeway. And this rainforest, just these huge massive, this massive green, but the people are, really, really amazing. It's interesting when I was there, we were going to move there. For those that had missed any of the part of my story before, and it was back in about 2007 or 8, and my wife and I and our little kids were literally gonna move there. And I noticed, like, people where we were, there was locals that lived on the beach in like houses that had no windows. And yeah, there's, you around the city, and there's definitely, poverty, in parts of the city and stuff. But where we were, like, there's people that had houses, like brick houses with no windows, but it wasn't like they were actually happy. It was really bizarre. Like, it's very, I started thinking, I'm like, this is a very, different than America. It's not like, I want more materialism is a word that I'm looking for. Like, it's not like, oh, I gotta have a pool in my backyard because they're right there on the beach, or I don't know how I'm gonna eat, because anything that you plant there grows, and so the whole culture is just like all about family and enjoying your life and living life and peace. They don't have an army there. Like, it's really, really cool. So that's why I've said, like, anybody like you that would go down, I'd say the big problem is they're not going to leave. They're going to stay,
Absolutely. It's a simplified life. I mean, it's what I found amazing is, I mean, you leave your windows open year round. That temperature is like between 70 and 77. I mean, it's a cool breeze. I'm like, rainy season's, not too bad. It usually rains like an hour out of the day during rainy season. But I mean, other than that, it's like
And
ideal
it's a
weather.
safe place too. For those that haven't been there, it's like it's not like going to Mexico City or someplace that you think like I'm going to get kidnapped, or something. It's a pretty safe place. I mean, yes, there's bad parts like there is anywhere, but generally it's my perception was it was safe and secure, and that kind of deal, even though there's income disparity, like, again, like there is everywhere else. So I got to tell you this, so I got to underscore this again, is for veterans, if you're a U.S. veteran, what do you have to do to come to Costa Rica Recovery? What do you have to do?
I mean, the Costa Rica Recovery is actually one of the only programs that I know of that uses a small program from the VA that nobody knows about. It's called the FMP, the Foreign Medical Program. So if you are a veteran and you're service connected with mental health, PTSD, you pretty much free ticket to come down here to do treatment for 30, 60, 90 days. I mean, it's an amazing program, and just watching these veterans, get their life back, something that I needed back when I was getting out of the service. It's really the only thing they really have to do is just reach out to us, contact us, call Justin. Justin will verify that you're eligible. I mean, and pretty much come on down, have a passport and plane ticket, come on down.
And what
Everything's
is
taken care of.
eligible? What is eligible? You were a U.S. veteran, right?
U.S. veteran, you have to be service connected. I mean, 0%, 10% with mental health, PTSD, which the majority of veterans returning from the Middle East are. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really a great program. I mean, to
Can
me,
you imagine if you would have discovered this program actually when you were first having problems?
it would have been amazing. It would have saved me 25 years of my life, bouncing in and out, running the streets, doing God knows what I did.
And so
I wish.
when they come down, vets come down, and everybody else, it's a first-rate place in a gorgeous country with a really beautiful and amazing, caring people that are there.
Very
You've got
healing
a
environment.
you've got a bed, you've got a room, you're fed, really good, nutritious. I remember every time I was there, we always ate a lot of fish and different kind of stuff that they would make, local beans and whatnot, healthy kind of stuff.
And
You're
we have
getting up
local
in the morning,
cooks.
you're working out at like 5:30 a.m. and doing meditations and then having a breakfast. Like I find it really, really amazing, and they can stay for up to 90 days.
They probably could stay longer. I don't know if they've explored that. We have one or two of the vets that just recently left. They're coming back to help us be interns here. I mean, that should tell you something. I mean, I mean, like just like you were saying, to talk about the meals. The meals are cooked with love. We have local chefs. The gym is like a block and a half away. I mean, I mean, you work out, get those natural endorphins pumping through your body,
And
so
then you guys
it
are doing stuff
expedites the
like
detox.
you're going surfing, you're going hiking, you're going on weekend excursions, right?
Right. Today's actually beach day, so the majority of the people in our program are out at the beach. So, I mean, I had to stay behind because, for the interview, and I had we had a computer class earlier for staff. But I mean, it's amazing.
Otherwise, you'd be at the
I
beach.
love my coworkers. They're just as passionate as I am. That's what really sold me. I knew it was a grade A place, but I'm like, well, how are the counselors and the clinical staff? Can they
Are most of the
match the
counselors
attention?
and staff in recovery themselves?
They are. They are, and
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference.
And it is a 12 step, but it's a 12 step holistic, which is a lot of times is kind of opposite because you're doing traditional kind of 12 step stuff, but then there's also things like, what did you call it?
CBT, we have CBT, we have grief therapy, mindfulness. I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing. And what also impressed me was the local AANA communities here in San Jose. It's huge. I mean, our biggest meetings every Saturday morning, we pile up both vans right out there. I'll be picking up my 5-year chip Saturday, so
Fantastic, man. I just think that it's really awesome. And I don't want to, really belabor it because we've gone on and on and on about it. And the feature will come out. This will be, kind of a secondary interview with it. But how do people get back, man? What do they do?
how do they get back
How do they
to?
get back to you? How do they get back to the place if they're looking? And because it's not just for vets, by the way, it's for anybody. So how would they connect? How do they connect with
Okay,
the
they could
place?
reach out to us off our webpage, Costa Rica Recovery.com now,
Okay.
and just reach out there. We're also on Facebook and Instagram.
What's your Facebook?
My Facebook is at JR Weaver Zero,
At
but
JR Weaver Zero. Okay. We're gonna put all that kind of stuff in here too. And yeah, dude, I'm really grateful that you've connected us, man. So
I mean, it's a blessing. I
when
mean,
you
it
told
was
me
a
that you were
blessing.
going, when you told me that you were going down there for a job interview, I was really excited for you. And then when you got a job, I was just more, ecstatic. But then learning about the place, I was like, no, we got to talk to these guys. This is a really cool story. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing attention to us, because that's the same thing I said. I was like, why don't you have a line out the door? You guys have such a great program. I'm like, where's your marketing, advertising at? I mean, just put it out there for the world to see what you're doing here and the results, that you're getting. I mean, it's truly a blessing. It's like, you know, God bless recovery, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason, man. Well, terrific, my friend. Well, thank you so much for just a little bit amount of time here today. Just wanted to, we couldn't do a feature without having you in it centrally. So appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, man.
All right. Well, this has been another little interview bite, Recovered Today magazine. My good friend JR Weaver, and this is a wrap.